Dana White's Contender Series Season 9, Week 8 airs tomorrow, Tuesday night. And I'm here to go over my full card picks, predictions, and breakdown. Currently, we are sitting at 23-12 on picks through 7 weeks. That is a 67% pick rate. We dropped under 70% last week. It was unfortunate. A couple clutch dogs came up. The reads were there, but the outcomes were not. Either way, we're going to be back to it looking for a clean sweep this week. So we're going to jump right into it with the first bout of the evening. And we are actually at the main event, so we're going to move all the way down to the first bout of the evening. We got Rashid Vagabov and Paulo Henrique. Was not able to find much on Paulo Henrique. So for this one, obviously, I'm just going with vibes. Rashid Vagabov, he seems pretty good. He is susceptible to getting hit straight down the pipe. He leaves himself a little bit open. His guard kind of stands like this, and if you send straights down the middle, he is susceptible to getting hit there. Do I think this guy's going to be the one to stop him? Probably not. Let me get the Russian flyweight. He just seems like he could potentially be a problem here. I think the wrestling is going to be too much. Like I said, I did not look too much into Paulo Henrique. I was having trouble finding him, even on Tapology and Sherdog. I was having issues. There's a lot of Paulo Henriquez, and I was not finding this one. So I'm going to go with the -900. And let's say he gets the fight done inside the distance. Fade me if you want on this one. This guy's a massive underdog, but we're going with the Russian here. And then for the next fight, we got Curtis Campbell and Demba Sek. So the thing about Demba, he actually is fucking huge for featherweight. And even in the fights that I was watching of his, he looks massive. I mean, against the guys that he's in there fighting, does not look like a featherweight. He looks like David Onama in there, but bigger. Curtis Campbell looks pretty solid as well. Curtis Campbell doesn't necessarily throw with as much thud as Demba, but he does seem to be a little bit cleaner. Demba Sek kind of plots forward, and he'll just step forward, throwing right, left. He does have some thunder behind his strikes, and he is large for the division. But there's a reason that he is a almost 4-1 underdog. I do think he's more live than the odds are suggesting here. But Curtis Campbell is a dog, and I think if Curtis Campbell fights this fight intelligently, he should be able to get Demba Sek to the ground, use his wrestling. I think he's going to be a little bit more polished and a little bit more technical in that aspect. He could have to endure a early storm, and I think he's going to be a little bit technical, or not a little bit, but technical enough and slick enough to avoid the danger. And if he needs to, get this fight to the ground. And I think when he gets to the ground, Demba Sek, I don't think his strength is going to be enough for him to get out of bad positions. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with Curtis Campbell, the undefeated fighter here, to be the smarter, cleaner, more polished fighter. And I think that he could potentially get it done by submission. If you're looking for a sprinkle, like if you're taking Curtis Campbell in a parlay or something, which I would not recommend, Demba Sek by knockout could be interesting. The odds for that are not out yet. I'm recording this video on Monday night. So if we see Demba Sek by knockout at +600 or something, shoot, he's a big dude. He has a puncher's chance for sure. So we'll take Curtis Campbell undefeated. We'll say by submission. And then we have the next bout. We got Eliezer Cubanza and Christopher Alvidrez. I'm going with Eliezer Cubanza here. I just think he has what it takes to get it done. Christopher Alvidrez did beat Takashi Sato in his last fight, which is almost impressive because Sato has fought a lot of guys, but at the end of the day, he was on a 5-fight losing streak going into this one. He's getting finished in most of his losses. He has 9 losses, 6 by which come a finish, 3 by knockout, and 3 by submission. The Eliezer Cubanza, he just seems to be more of a physical specimen here. There's 2 African prospects on the card tonight. I did not pick the first one, but I'm going to go with the second one here, mostly off of vibes. Give me the undefeated fighter out of the Congo. Alvidrez, I mean, he's all right, but this one I didn't put too much thought into. I'm going with the African prospect here. I know they need some of them. We do not necessarily have a wealth of African prospects at the moment. So let me get him, the more athletic fighter, the more explosive fighter, to get it done. That was a quick one. This fight is one that I'm very interested in. We got Louis, most likely. It's probably not Louis. We got Louis Jordan, or maybe it is Louis. Maybe it's Louis. We got Louis Jordan and Magno Diaz. I sound like Nick with that one right there. Louis Jourdain and Magno Diaz. Let me get Diaz here. He's the underdog, plus 145. He's going to be, so I have one play this week, and it's going to be Magno Diaz, and you'll see who else it is once we move further down the card. But I'm going to take Magno Diaz here. I think he's a pretty solid fighter. He does have one super suspect loss to a guy who is 2-4. It is his only loss, and he was submitted in that fight. Jourdain, unlike his brother, is more, I mean, Charles Jourdain as well is a very skilled striker, speedy, uses volume, and Louis Jourdain is very similar in that respect. He's going to be the taller fighter here. I don't even believe that Magno is only 5'5". That's crazy as shit. There's no way. Let me look that up real quick. But I think Magno Diaz, he has power in the striking. He uses offensive wrestling of his own, and he, in his own respect, gets submissions. So I'm going to go with Magno Diaz here. I have his height at 5'6". They listed him on ESPN at 5'5", but that extra inch is going to mean something. If Jourdain can get him to the ground, I don't think that's going to be the game plan here. I think Jourdain's going to go out there and strike, and he could potentially get hit by something big. If Magno gets it to the ground, I think he's also live to win by submission. So I'm going to take Magno Diaz here by money line. I know people are fading the Fighting Nerds right now because some of them have been losing, but they're losing to high-level competition. If this guy's getting in good reps in the gym, I feel like I trust the Fighting Nerds gym to have their guy prepared for Jourdain here. Charles Jourdain has seen 3 losses so far in the cage. I want to pick Jourdain. Charles Jourdain is my boy, but I'm not going to ride with his brother today. Let me get the underdog. Fighting Nerds prospect Magno Diaz by submission. Club and sub. I could see him putting him out too on the feet. Jourdain throws with a lot of volume, but he lets both hands go at the same time. And if there's a guy who he's fighting who has some cojones, I think he could be susceptible to catching a devastating counter. So let me get Magno Diaz, club and sub, or potentially a knockdown to a TKO ground and pound finish. That's the first underdog of the night, by the way. And then we move to the main event, middleweight bout between Vitor Costa and Damian Penis. I'm going to go with my second underdog of the night here. Vitor Costa, a little bit slow, but he's a big dude at middleweight, and he does well with the grappling and wrestling as well. So I'm going to take Vitor Costa to win this fight by submission. I think Damian Penis, he looks like he's decently athletic, but in his own respect, just like Vitor Costa, neither of them look like the most coordinated guys, at least compared to what we see at a high level at middleweight. I think Costa will just have what it takes to get this fight to the ground. I think if you watch Damian Pena's fight against Johnny Gregory, he was controlled. He found himself in multiple bad positions. If he is on the ground like that against Costa, I don't think he's reversing position with a Kimura grip. I don't think he's getting back up. So if I'm Vitor Costa here, maybe I'll strike a little bit, but I think that there's a very, very significant weakness in the game of Damian Penas, and I think that is his ground game. I think he can get wrestled. He can get taken down relatively easily, and I think if Vitor Costa finds himself in the positions that Johnny Gregory had, he is live to finish this fight by either ground and pound or submission. I'm going to go with submission. I like submission for Costa and submission for Magno Diaz here. I think if you take this play, both underdogs money line, it will net plus 400. And then when we see the submission props drop, take Costa and Diaz both by submission as a stepped up version of the parlay. Obviously, straight save the day, so I would do straights, especially when they're at plus money. But Vitor Costa should be able to get it done here. Penas is or would be undefeated. He has a DQ loss via illegal kick, some sort of illegal kick. I didn't even look into that fight, but I watched his last 2 fights, and I think he's getting wrestled, and I think he's getting submitted here. So let me go over it real quick. This was a quick video here for you guys, but give me the Russian flyweight, excuse me. Rashid Vagabov to finish inside the distance over Paulo Henrique. The wrestling is going to be too much for him. Next bout, we got Curtis Campbell being the cleaner, more polished striker. I think he'll be able to mix the martial arts and overwhelm the athletic striker and absolute massive featherweight in Demba Sek. Next, we have Eliezer Kubanza, the explosive prospect out of the Congo, to beat Christopher Alvidrez, probably by knockout. And I'm not super confident in this pick. I just think he's going to be the more athletic fighter, the more explosive fighter, and he will be able to get it done inside the distance. Next, we got the first underdog of the night, Magno Diaz over Louis Jourdain. I think Louis Jourdain throws a lot of volume, but he leaves himself open to counter shots. And if he finds himself clubbed, he will find himself subbed. So let me get Magno Diaz by sub or knockout, either one. Inside the distance is the play there. And then for the main event, give me my second underdog of the night with Vitor Costa over Damian Pinas. I think Pinas is a little bit green. He has showed some serious lacking in the wrestling department. So let me get Vitor Costa to withstand whatever is coming to him on the feet, potentially get the fight to the ground and find a submission or at the bare minimum, a ground and pound TKO. These were very quick. I was going to put these picks out on Sunday. I loafed again. But this week, UFC 320 is on Saturday night. I'm going to do my research, spend more time doing it, drop the picks on Sunday. I'm going to record the video on Saturday, drop the picks on Sunday. This is the third week in a row I'm saying it. This time we're actually going to do it. If you watch this video, like and subscribe. And of course, let me know your favorite underdog of the night or your favorite pick of the night as well. I'm excited for this fight card, as I am for all of them. Dana White's Contender Series Season 9, Week 8 premieres tomorrow night on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're looking to get back above that 70% threshold. We need to go 5 for 5 tomorrow night. So wish me luck. Of course, always bet responsibly and enjoy the fights.